This is the world, and this is Jimmy the Snail. And this is Jimmy the Snail. And Jimmy the Snail wants to show the world that snails aren't that bad. So he's going to slither the length of the earth. But how long exactly would that take? Well, to start off, you have to plot a route. And the three things you need is a starting point, in our case, Hyde Park, the biggest park in London. Secondly, you need a route that can be traversed by snail. So the easiest way to do this is to go to Google Maps and use walking routes, as walking routes are the most direct while avoiding houses, fences, and unclimbable surfaces. Finally, you need a way of filling in the places Jimmy can't walk, such as our first stop. After leaving London and heading east, we arrive at the Channel, the bit of water between the UK and mainland Europe, where we face a 120-mile crossing. And as snails can't swim, isn't it convenient we're at the port of Harwich with a ferry route to the Hut of Holland? So to arrange the travel for Jimmy and I and check that he wouldn't need a special passport, I gave Stenaline a call. I genuinely hate this. I've lived such a shielded life.
Stenaline speaking, how may I help you?
Hi, I'm looking for your policies actually. I'm looking for gastropods.
No, because gastropod is not pet. So how you going to be travel with?
In a tank.
You might need to contact a. Just a second, let me to check if it's.
While we wait, shall I tell you a couple facts about my snail? He's
yes.
he's a lovely snail, and he eats lettuce, and he's one day he's gonna walk around the world. His name's Jimmy as well. Forgot that part.
Jimmy. Okay. How old is Jimmy?
He's quite young. I want to get him into Holland.
How long they living?
Not very long, unfortunately. Which is why I want to get him to see the world, you know?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Do you like snails?
Would you like... I never step on them. I don't think snails required any documentation, but just double check. I'll double check with Harwich Port and I will call you back.
Thank you.
I got your telephone number, which is oh, please can I have your name? I know Jimmy and
Yes. I'm Ned, and yes, I'll be traveling with Jimmy.
your Nick. Yes, Nick.
Yes.
Nick. Okay, yeah. And I will call you back as soon customer service will reply, Harwich Port will reply for me, and we organize travel to Nick, or to Jimmy.
Thank you.
He's going to have a, at least he can see homeland, yes?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thanks for your phone call.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. So, with that settled, Jimmy should arrive in the Netherlands in 10 hours, except for the fact it's going to take him about 4 days to cross the 215-meter long ship, so the ferry will go back and forth about 8 times before Jimmy can get off. But once he's done that, it's plain sailing, a trip through the Netherlands, passing Rotterdam and Amsterdam, through Germany, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and finally into Moscow, Russia. From Moscow, we follow a series of motorways through the Russian wilderness, briefly crossing the border of Kazakhstan, and finally onto what seems to be the only roads into East Russia, the M58 and the M56. The M56 takes us to the last major location on our route, marked miles out on a map, and I quote, an urban locality in the east of Russia, Arokatan. With an estimated population of 964. Sorry, what? I literally have more followers on Twitch than a Russian town marked as a major location on Google Maps, with their own Wikipedia page and ex-Soviet gold mine. That's how little there is in East Russia. The next steps in our journey can't follow any roads, as there are none. So the only option was to walk to the Russian border in a completely straight line. And as seen, I don't think there's going to be much in the way of Jimmy's route. And apparently, the steepest gradient is 7.8%, which is literally this much. So we should be fine. However, on arrival at the most easterly point of Russia, we run into an issue. Apart from getting between countries with strong thoughts about each other, it also appears we need to cross another large body of water, without any regular boat or plane services this time. But after a little more digging, if we time it right to arrive at the ocean crossing, it should become the Bering Strait, a dangerous, rugged, remote ice sheet, creating a deadly mission for Jimmy to cross, avoiding cracks, extreme temperatures, and great crevasses. As of editing this part of the video, I actually found out that there's plans or ideas to build a tunnel under this ice sheet.
It's editing me again. It's a bridge. It's not a tunnel. It's a bridge.
So by the time Jimmy gets there, maybe he won't even have this problem. Into Alaskan wilderness, where Jimmy travels the remaining roadless wastelands until he arrives in Manly Hot Springs, a small, very cold Alaskan town connecting us to the roads out of Alaska, into Canada, briefly cutting through Minnesota, and up to Cartwright, a Canadian town as far east as possible, with an airport ready for Jimmy to charter a plane right over to the west of Ireland. And to make the final steps home, all he has to do is get himself to Dublin, a ferry back to Liverpool, and the home stretch to London. This all creates an 18,493-mile route. Although shorter than the actual circumference of the Earth, it's much more accurate and an achievable route to circumnavigate, as the equator has a lot more gaps, meaning it wouldn't be a very accurate representation. However, we need to now work out how long the highly complicated journey would take. So I called up my friend, big brain and Twitch chat moderator, Sam.
Oh,
Hello. The first step was to input the altitude data. As Google Maps only really tells you the distance between 2 points, we needed to include walking over hills and altitude change. And it was important you added all the changes between the 2 points, because if you start at sea level and finish on a hill, only taking the difference in height, you don't include all the change in between. So we added that all together, and I decided we need to use Naismith's rule. Naismith's rule is a formula that says if you walk 3 miles, it will take you 1 hour, but add 1 minute for every 10 meters in altitude change. This rule applies to hiking with big backpacks, so if we use the proportions of the formula and change 3 miles an hour to the speed of an average garden snail, 0.03 miles per hour, we get a snail walking formula of 0.03 miles per hour plus 100 minutes per 10 meters in altitude change. However, snails don't quite work in the same way as humans, as they can literally climb vertically, stick to stuff, and don't step up hills in the same way as we do. So Sam had an idea.
I have a theory which may work. It's basically Pythagoras. You just make the entire thing like a big kind of triangle.
This makes much more sense, as with the help of Pythagoras, you can get the true distance, including the altitude, and work out how long it would take from the total distance. So the only thing left is to get Jimmy and find his true speed.
Look at this guy. Actually, he's so majestic.
To calculate the speed, we mark a point and see how far he gets away in 4 minutes. Although he doesn't walk in a straight line, we can follow his trail of slime. Okay, I have Snail. Snail speedrun is go. He's making a break for the edge of the table. Jimmy, you've got more to live for. From the experiment, we know he walked 35 centimeters in 4 minutes, giving us an average speed of 0.00326222199. That's actually about 10% of what I found online to be the snail's average pace. However, he didn't seem to be going that slow, so I thought it'd be more appropriate to stick with the measured pace. So, overall, this gives us a time of 522 years, 362 days, 7 hours, 29 minutes and 21 seconds. However, that's not it. Obviously, Jimmy needs to rest up and sleep, so adding an additional 16 hours for every 4 days, which is what a snail needs, we end up with a time of 610 years, 57 days, 16 hours, 44 minutes and 16 seconds. Thank you all very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye!